We have the lovely Miss Terri, who's playing Kim Jones in this amazing film. How's it feel to be walking this black carpet?
Humbling. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful.
For all the black and brown girls that are out there, why is it important now more than ever that this story be told?
This story is important to be told because it's not just Inez's story. There are so many people who were impacted in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and even today by systems that were put in place to help people of color and to help people, period. And those systems, I believe, wanted to help, but somehow they failed us. And because of the impact of that failing, those people might have been seen as less than, but they weren't. You know what I mean? Like, their stories are not no less deserving because they weren't in a certain social class, or because they didn't speak a certain way, or because they went to jail. You know what I mean? Like, what you've been through shouldn't define you. They're still human. They're still people. They still deserve compassion and love and empathy. And so I'm really hoping that this story leads to amplification and their voices being amplified, so we get to see more stories like this, because art it's supposed to imitate life, you know? And we shouldn't only see certain types of stories, especially when this is our story. And so I really love that A.V. Rockwell took on the challenge. I don't know if it was a challenge for her now, so I don't want to say that.
Right.
But she wrote from her heart what she saw in her community, and she spoke honestly and vulnerably and truthfully. You know what I mean? Because there are going to be so many people, not just women, but children and men who see this story, and they're going to see themselves. They're going to see their childhood. They're going to see someone that they know, that they love. And so I am excited, and I champion this story because we all know an Inez.
Terri, who are some of the women that inspired you along this journey to get to this point?
My grandmother, my mother, my mentor, who was my 5th grade teacher, Miss Billingsley. I'm going to say my mama name, Johnny May. I'm going to say my grandma name, Shirley.
Hey, Grandma Shirley. Mama Shirley.
She no longer with us, but I had strong black women in my life. You know, they weren't always perfect because life just lives. But they loved me, and they poured into me, and they believed in me, and they gave me a foundation of faith. And also through watching them figure life out, they taught me how to keep fighting and going.
Terri, thank you so much. She plays Kim Jones. She's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, sister.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. What's going on, y'all? Oh, man, you should have brought the Kangle out. You said you're a B-boy. You're supposed to have that out with the Pumas on. We got John Guiterrez here. Listen, how did it feel playing alongside Teyana Taylor, Will Catlett?
Oh my God! Well, you know, my scenes in the film were all with Teyana Taylor from day one, and it was an incredible feeling. You know, it's always a kind of nervous thing when you're about to do a scene with somebody. You're like, who are you? You know, and then especially when you have to be like so intimate. Like my character Rudy and her character Inez go way back, and Rudy takes her in when she comes out of jail, and so it's like, you know, it's like I come from Washington Heights, and I have some experience with those kinds of themes and those stories, and so for me, I was like, you know, those friends that you go way, way back with, that you'll kind of do whatever comes your way with. And so I'm like, how do you build that? Like right away. And Teyana was incredible. And just within a couple minutes, you know, figuring out that we were both New Yorkers, that she's from Harlem and I grew up on 160th. So I'm just a couple stops away. So there was already this kind of, like, I know you without ever meeting you before type thing. And I feel like that really resonated in the scenes. And I was always just so grateful to have that kind of comfort with somebody. Is like that kind of unspeakable language, you know, and I feel that way with everyone that I encountered in the film as well. It's like everybody just had this kind of knowing, this thing that you don't have to explain when you're in their presence, you know. It's kind of like, oh yeah, you see me, you like actually see me, or you see something about me. Like we family, you know, and that when you have that, it's so rare. And so to feel it, you just kind of ride that energy. And you know, I didn't get to interact with Will much throughout the filming and on set, but Will, when we were at Sundance and premiered the film there, Will was like everybody's papa. You know, like it's the way, the poise that he carries with him, even the poise that he carries in his style and his outfits. I was just like coming over him and was like, yo, how do you do this? How do you do this? I was like, can I call you later? You know, like, can we talk more? And he was just so open, so warm, and I think really represented the love and the tenderness of that, you know, truthfully a lot of us lack in our upbringing as male individuals growing up in this country, growing up in this city. And I'm really excited for everybody, for the world to see these two take on these parental personalities. And yeah, it's like I saw my mom up there when I watched this, and I saw the best parts of my dad when I watched this. So.
I was going to ask you that, whether it's Harlem or Washington Heights, how important is this story culturally?
I think one of the most important things for you to feel powerful is to have that power emulated. You know, it's like to see it. And so when I watch this film and sit in that theater and watching this thing happen in front of me, you know, if it was my story in a way, it'd be happening in Spanish. But it's like I was like, yo, this is what we went through. Like I remember that conversation, or I remembered that silence. You know, because it's like love isn't always just the joy. Love is also the hard silences. Love is the unanswered questions, the not having the answer to the question. And I think that that's something that this movie does beautifully. I think that it's something that this film, what I hope people take away from it is that as they move through it and as they see it, they recognize that their story is powerful and that their experience is important. And because that's something I'm trying to learn from myself, and something that I'm really grateful to A.V. Rockwell, who's bringing this, stories like this and that power to all of us who go through experiences like this.
John, that's so dope. Well, final question for you. Music is a soundtrack to our lives. What artist best represents your journey up to this point?
Oh, man. What artist represents my journey up to this point right now? I mean, I listen to a lot of Kendrick these days, Kendrick Lamar. I think I really love listening to like old school rap. So it's like Rakim is somebody who I really look back on. I'm a really big fan of lyricists. I really love Black Thought right now too, and because I think that I was a little nerdy as a kid, and so I found my power in academics. I found my power in writing and creative outlets before I knew that I didn't know what like an artist was. Like I didn't, you know, but I felt like I always felt the need to write something down, or I always thought a little differently than other people. And so in music, I love artists who are kind of breaking the molds or breaking the expectations of how we're supposed to talk or what we're supposed to talk about, you know, even if it's a little taboo, you know, and what are the important messages, you know, it's like KRS-One was talking about this from day one, right? Like he's like, what are they talking about on the streets? That's what music should be about. And I think any artist who's doing that, you know, even Tiana Taylor was like a Rose in Harlem, you know, it's like these songs are classics, and the artists who define us are the ones that are defined by us. You know, defined by the stories that are important for us to tell. So.
John, thank you so much. Good luck. Congratulations. Enjoy the night. Yes, sir. Let's get it. We got Josiah Cross here, who plays Terri. How did it feel to play alongside Miss Tiana Taylor and Will Catlett?
Oh man, it was a pleasure. It was an honor, and I keep landing on the word inspiring. It was inspiring to work with him, man. I've known T for a bit now, and actually us being in this capacity where we're working together was a blessing. And I feel like she hasn't really gotten her flowers the way I feel like she should, and I think this film is going to be a beautiful example of showing that, man.
What is the best example of what it means to be a black man that you got throughout this film?
The best example of being a black man? Oh man. Resilience, strength. I feel like we go through more than the average person in the world, you know what I mean? And that's deep, you know, a person. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's from the beginning of the time. That's all we've been asking for, is just to be looked at as a person, a human. And I feel like we go through so much that people, they become numb to what we go through, and they think that this type of strength is just like normal, and it's not. So I feel like this film showcases that.
Josiah, thank you so much. Congratulations, black man. Appreciate you. You see him, he got the joint. I used to be able to fit that back in the day when I wasn't doing my push-ups. How does it feel to be on this black carpet, young man?
It feels great. It's one of my first experience. It's really cool. I feel like it's really welcoming and stuff, and it's just I'm definitely gonna remember it.
Did you ever think that you would get to this point to witness this, to experience this? And if so, who were the people that inspired you along the way?
Definitely, you always got to dream big. I feel like this is something big, I was hoping I'd be able to do when I was younger, I want to be on the red carpet one day, It's probably something I thought when I was younger. But I would definitely say my parents inspired me, It's my big inspiration, my mom and my dad.
All right, who you wearing tonight? What you got here? What you got here?
I got on the jacket, I got on the Jordan 1s, and, I got some drip, you know what I mean?
He got a little drip.
My stylist is Asaki Simon.
There it is, my man. Congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Love you, man. Peace. On y'all, here with my man Aven Courtney, who plays Terri. I want to ask you, young man, why is it important for young men your age to sit in front of this movie to learn the lessons of hardships and what it means to take someone in and give them the best opportunity to be the best versions of themselves?
Because I feel like a lot of people my age and in my generation, they struggle to figure out who they are. And I feel like with Terri, he was still trying to figure out who he was at 14 years old. So I feel like try to figure out who you are. And then once you figure out who you are and what you love to do, stick with it. And like I said, my saying, what my mom tells me all the time, be yourself and never let someone try to, stray you from being yourself. And that's really it.
What is the biggest takeaway that you learned from being in this movie and things that you actually saw happening in this movie?
My takeaway would have to be, the hardships of a mom. Like I never knew what moms have to go through, and it brought my respect level for mothers, because mothers do go through a lot, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much moms go through. You feel me? So I feel like if people, I feel like when people watch this movie, they'll understand everything with what moms have to go through, with kids that have to figure themselves out, and that's really it.
My man, Aven Courtney, congratulations, brother. Have a great night, man. Peace.